So here's a short story about a young guy who is kicking his wife to the curb after finding out, to surprise, surprise, she's been cheating on him. And here's the thing, guys, they've only been married for a couple years. So it's like so much for a honeymoon phase. Boom, she's right into the cheating. Which goes to show you, typically, they'll get married just to get a ring on their finger, but they have no intention of staying with you. But our guy here, after he finds out about this and the way he finds out, he obviously, although hurt, is getting rid of her, which all guys should do. And this goes to prove, guys, don't rush into relationships. Take your time getting to know your girl. Always keep your eyes open. And oh yes, they're going to oftentimes marry a guy they don't love just to get a rock on their finger and go back to the way they were. Titled, I found weird photos on my wife's phone. And a shout to Ben for sending this story. It says, so me, a 27-year-old male, and my wife, a 30-year-old female, are married for 2 years now and in a relationship for 4. Smack! So in other words, they got married. Actually not married. After only 2 years together. That was the dumbest freaking thing in the world. But notice she's 30. This meant she saw she was getting close to the big 3-0. Had to rush things. And this guy, unfortunately, fell for it. And oh yeah, the bonehead married an older woman. That was dumb. Just to let you know, prior to this event, I never had any trust issues or suspicions within our relationship. She's never given me any signs to doubt her loyalty and love, even though I'm really suspicious as a person. And I thought we were great in a loving relationship. Well, she's very good at covering her tracks, and you saw what you wanted to see. That happens to a lot of guys. Well, back to the story. She came to the place I moved for a few days for vacation and to see me. We went out, traveled a new country, had tons of fun, and was pretty much the same loving situation we've always been. When we came back one day, I was looking at our photographs that she shot from her phone, and I accidentally deleted one. So I went to the deleted file to retrieve it, and there it was. I see 3 photographs of her butt in a thong. One of it seemed like a hand was grabbing her butt. He's like, well, that's not my hand. I freezed. I turned off her phone and didn't mention it. I checked it later again and was definitely a hand visible that didn't look like hers. In fact, it looked manly, but I'm still not 100% sure. She left the next day, and I'm now in a weird spot. Well, it was a picture of your wife's butt in a thong, probably a thong you never saw before, and some dude's hands on it, then obviously this is not a very good thing. I don't know if I should confront her now. Forget about it. She might just take some photos on her own, or just wait for new signs just to be sure that she's cheating on me and not give her the option to perhaps cover it up with excuses. What are your thoughts on the situation? Let me know if you have any extra questions. I'm still really shocked about it in my native language, and English is not, so errors might occur. Now, that was his first post, and of course, Reddit being Reddit, they gave him lots of answers, and they're like, hey bro, whose hand do you think it is? Gotta handle it right. So he did his update. It says, so to give you all a brief update, I confronted her. I couldn't hold a poker face for much longer. We talked via video chat and I told her about the pictures I saw. Her face immediately changed, started shaking, and eventually full out crying. And of course, Hobag Handbook Chapter 2. You think she's crying because she feels so guilt-ridden about breaking the heart of this good man? Or crying because it means she's caught and she's trying to soften him, weaken him? You obviously know the answer to that. We talked in video. I read that part. She admitted to having an affair. She met a guy about a month ago while out. He was intensely flirting with her, and she admitted there was a lot of sexual tension and chemistry. They had SCX 5 times so far. She didn't try to lie, and she admitted it almost instantly. You hear that part, guys? He was intensely flirting with her, and a lot of sexual tension and chemistry. Translation, the attention and validation, which they all crave, that got to her, and by him creating the sexual tension and chemistry, in other words, giving her the butterflies. So what's a gal to do, even if she's married? Jump into bed with him. You think she's going to change? This is how Chad and Tyrone, the bad boys, operate. She told me she was going to tell me as soon as I was back. Yeah, sure, sweetheart. Tell me another one. There are some feelings involved between her and her affair partner, and it isn't just sexual. Someone had commented about an STD check, so I asked her if she was using protection, which she told me, wait for it, they didn't. Talk about adding insult to injury. I think she was doing it on purpose. I think she got off on it, and so did he. And probably, well, I don't need to say what I'm thinking here, but I'm sure you guys can imagine it's not very good here. What a bitch. I mean, it's bad enough she's cheating, potentially giving him something. And what if she got pregnant? You know, she'd be like, it's your baby, I'm pregnant. I'm feeling really numb right now and don't know how to react. She was apologetic for hiding it for so long, but not for doing it. Because she doesn't care. That's why. I think our relationship is over. You think, bro? I'm just thinking the next move now. Thank God we have no kids or property, and that's not between us, so this is going to be a calm divorce. I still love her, but I feel relieved now that I know. It's just a life-changing aspect on it that I'm still coping with. Thanks for your comment and help, guys. So obviously, he's ending with her, and there's going to be obviously some of his comments in the comment section, which I'll get to, but here's the whole point. He rushed into the relationship. 2 years after he met her, they got married, which means probably they dated for a year, and then he proposed to her. I think he said that he moved in with her place. No, I can't remember if he said he moved into her place or not, but I think he did. Rushing into things. Look, there are women when they're getting close to 30, they want to rock on that finger because they know at 30 years old, like a car going off the freaking dealership lot, it's not as valuable anymore. There are great, beautiful women in their 30s, don't get me wrong, but they know once they hit 30, it's a game changer. Plus, all their friends are getting married in their late 20s. She obviously saw this guy, saw he was a easy prey, roped him in that within a year he proposes to her, and they're married after 2 years knowing each other. He doesn't even know her, and yet this is what he does. And in her mind, hey, I can cheat on him. He'll probably forgive me. The thing is, she has no apologies about it. She doesn't feel bad about it at all. So this guy needs to obviously get rid of her. And he is. So the next time to all you guys out there that may watch this and think it's a good idea to rush into a relationship and your relationship is so magical, you need to spend years getting to know your girl. If you move in with her, you move in, that's the final thing before you get married. You don't go on her turf, you move in a new place together. And for God's sakes, you pay attention. Now, somebody says to him here, I'm going to read the following here, and then he responds, very sorry, OP, but it was a sad, obvious something that was going on. Good news is she confessed to it. Bad news is that it was video call, not in a written audio form. It seems like you're divorcing her, which I think is the only decision here. 5 times doesn't even bother to use protection, which is something most cheaters tend to do. Just completely trifling. The disrespect is more than tangible. Speak with your lawyer. You may want to keep the details minimal about things until your assets are protected. Ask your lawyer about that because eventually you'll want to be able to tell people the full story. Yes, he needs to speak to a lawyer, and he needs to control the narrative, because she will. She'll most likely at some point try to spin things somehow. Just be mindful of that possibility. She's not who you thought you married anymore. Remember that. Not who he thought he married. He barely knew her before he proposed to her. A year, maybe a year and a half before they got married? That's so stupid, but guys do that shit. The best thing you can do is put distance between you and her immediately. Otherwise, she'll suck you back in while you're still coming to terms and weaken you. Trust me, exit the stage left immediately and thank your lucky stars you have no kids, etc. You got off lightly. And he says here, we talked and both understand that we cannot continue this marriage. I think she's in love with the other guy. But she's infatuated with the other guy. And here's what's going to happen with the other guy. When the other guy gets bored with her, when it's no longer fun because he's banging a married chick, he's going to kick her to the curb. You know it's going to happen because that's how Chad and Tyrone roll. And what will happen next? I guarantee it'll be part 3 to this when she comes begging and pleading that he takes her back. That she's so sorry. He's going to dump her. And I hope this guy's smart enough to take her back. Another guy says here, she checked out of the marriage and crossed the boundaries of the wedding vows. She made her choice, and in doing so, the OP should make his choice too. OP, get a lawyer. Get the ball rolling with the divorce. Go full no contact with the ex-wife. She only communicates through the OP's lawyer. Make friends and family aware that she cheated. Block her and everything. OP should find someone else who's loyal and trustworthy. Now, what this guy needs to do is get through this. And then have to be alone for a while on his own and really evaluate why he had to get married to her that quickly. Because it is very quick. Why didn't he get to know her? Why was he so gullible to believe that she was so magical and the one and all that, The problem is this guy probably watched way too many freaking movies, And there can be a million variables here. I've been doing this too long, but still. He needs to be on his own for a while. He needs to really talk to people that he can trust, give him some good, solid answers, and honestly absorb material like my channel and all the different type of channels like this to help educate himself on the reality of things. But then again, there's nothing that can really educate a guy than being cheated on and burned pretty badly. But I'm telling you now, and I'm sure most of you guys know this, that guy's going to kick her to the curb. When it's no longer exciting banging a married chick, because I get she's going to say, I'm getting divorced, we can be together. And he's going to be like, ha, 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 get out of here. And she'll come crying back to the guy posting the story. I hope he doesn't fall for it. We'll see.